This video demonstrates how to automatically export data to tabular format files in cloud storage using the File Output Tabular Format extension. Note that all values, email addresses, keys, secrets, tokens, and other personal information shown are for demo purposes only and have been deleted or revoked. The File Output Tabular Format extension captures data from your Docusign workflows and converts it into tabular files like CSV or spreadsheets. These files can be stored in the cloud, making it easy for teams to automate reporting, monitor compliance, and maintain accurate records, all without manual data entry. Let's dive into an example. A UK right-to-work workflow in Maestro. It starts with a web form, where a candidate enters their name and share code, a digital code that can be used by their employer to check their immigration status and job eligibility. The workflow then triggers an ID verification check. If the IDV check passes, the workflow continues. At this point, behind the scenes, the File Output Tabular Format extension takes the candidate's form data and the current date and exports it into a spreadsheet automatically. Finally, the user will see a confirmation screen confirming that the workflow is complete. Now let's take a closer look at how this works. At the core of this workflow is the extension app that enables exporting tabular data from Docusign. To support tabular export, your app must use the fileio.version1.fileoutput-tabular-format contract template, which defines all the actions your app can implement, 2 required and 2 optional. The optional actions help during workflow setup. List drives is called by Maestro to display all available drives your extension app can access. List directory contents lets users navigate to the folder structure within a drive to select a specific path. List headers is required, but is also called during setup and returns all available column names for the export. The number of headers must match the number of data variables you want to export, since each variable is mapped to a specific column in the tabular file. When the workflow runs, export to destination receives the headers and a 2D array of rows, validates that the headers match any existing schema, sets headers if the destination is empty, and appends the new rows. If the headers don't match, it returns an error to maintain data integrity. All of these actions are defined in a manifest file, which can be created from the form-based experience or uploaded as JSON. The manifest specifies the extension template, the actions, and the connections object, which manages authentication with your storage provider. It also lists the endpoints your backend must implement to handle the request-response contracts. Once authentication and endpoints are set up, you can register your extension app in the developer console, test the endpoints, and begin using it in a Maestro workflow. Here I am in the no-code Maestro workflow builder, where I've already set up my workflow to the point where we're collecting data with a web form, verifying someone's identity, and adding a condition so that we'll only move forward if validated. Now we're going to set up a step that calls our extension app. So I'll go to the Apps tab, select File Output Tabular Format, which is the extension app I created. Then I'll choose the authentication connection and browse my drives. This will be calling that list drives endpoint behind the scenes to show which drives I can choose from. I'll select the HR compliance drive, and then the list directory contents action is used to display the files within that drive. I'll choose the right-to-work verifications.xlsx file. Now I'll add my variables. These are the pieces of data that I want to store in the tabular file. I'll add name and share code, which we collected from that first web form step. Then I'll pull the date from the web form instance to export as well. Then I'll hit save. As long as the number of variables I added matches the number of headers returned by the list headers action, the configuration saves successfully. After adding our final confirmation screen, I can name my workflow, publish my changes, and then my workflow is ready to go. Once you've implemented and tested your File Output Tabular Format solution, you can go to the Developer Console to start the process to move to production. From the Publish to App Center tab, you can submit your app for review. After it passes review, you can publish it to make it available to install and use in production. Thanks for watching. You can find complete documentation, walkthroughs, and sample code for extension apps and Docusign APIs on the Docusign Developer Center.